Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is our third and final installment of Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom by Christine Brown Woolley.
What a journey it's been. I think it is beneficial that we recapped through the book club of Becoming Sister Wife.
I highly suggest doing that. Definitely. Yeah. If you haven't read Christine's book yet and you're planning to, read Becoming Sister Wives first.
It did provide some illumination. There were a few stories that were recounted or told in an updated way. But this is completing out the rest of the book here. We had chapters 13 through 28. Nope. That was last week. That was last time. So that was a copy and paste error. Pages 197 to 302 gets us to the end of the book.
There was a lot revealed about Kody here. I feel like the whole book could have just been my life married to a narcissist named Kody Wynn Brown. Like, that could have been the book. Don't you feel like the two people who came out looking the worst are Kody and Mary? And I don't think she even intended to make Mary look that bad.
No, I mean, like, I was just going to say that Robin doesn't look great either because, yeah, it was pretty rough, especially in this portion of the book as well.
I felt like it was the whole book, on the whole, was entirely lacking more information about Robin.
I think the problem was there wasn't enough. On the whole, in the whole. That is the basis of a lot of conversation for this segment. Yeah.
That's true. We're going to talk about kicking Kody out of the bedroom.
Yes, exactly. Before we jump into that, we do have a couple of quick announcements. Sister Wives Season 20 is returning next week. So you'll be seeing those episodes dropping in the Surviving Sister Wives feed. If you want to get access to those episodes early and ad-free, you can sign up on the Patreon over at patreon.com. We're also covering Kody's
journey on Special Forces?
Excursion to Morocco? His vacation. Let's call it that.
It's his version of Mom Springa from Robin's house.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, we're going to be doing Special Forces recaps as well, so stay tuned. Those will be dropping in the feed here. We're also doing a bracketology fantasy sports reality TV sort of.
If you're interested in playing along with trying to guess how far Kody and the other contestants are going to make it, you can join our little league. This is a fantasy league?
I think it's a fantasy
essentially
league. Reality TV fantasy league.
Except it's easier than that because you're not like drafting a team. You're just ranking in order of confidence, most confident to least confident, who you think will make it through that episode that week.
And so you're basically just hoping that the people who are leaving are not very high up on your list. You get more points the further along those people will go. And then you get to reassess between each episode as well. So that's a fun way to add another level into the watching experience here that we can all play along together as well.
So we will drop the link in the episode notes, the show notes, so that you can get over there and sign up.
Cool. Well, yeah, let's get into it here. We've got a ton of stuff to cover as far as the final segment of the book goes. We really started off with a lot about the move to Flagstaff. It was very heavy on the reasoning why.
Yeah, well, this is one of the most hotly debated topics in Sister Wives history is why did they leave Las Vegas and move to Flagstaff of all places?
And I mean, some of the fandom was correct in assessment. It didn't take too much investigation to find out, oh, Dayton got accepted to a school in Flagstaff for college. I get the sneaking suspicion that maybe Robin would like to be there, closer to Dayton.
Well, it was really interesting to hear Christine talk about how they essentially withheld that information until they got to the point that they had all agreed to go along with the move. And then she's finding out, oh, so Dayton getting accepted to school there was definitely a big piece of the puzzle because Flagstaff kept getting floated out there as the name of a place that maybe they'd want to go.
Which that was upsetting to Christine too, was because it was presented as the Oakland Raiders NFL team are relocating to Vegas. So we need to get out of Vegas because if the NFL comes in here, it's not a good place to live anymore. I mean, tons of places
It's about
like
to turn into a hellscape.
Let me tell you.
Just the traffic alone. Why is he so worried about the traffic situation? He only has to drive from one house in the cul-de-sac to the next.
He's not even driving
He doesn't go anywhere.
He's just at Robin's house. So what traffic is he trying to beat?
I'm sorry, sir. Is that going to affect your weekly run to the grocery store? Is it really going to inconvenience you picking the kids up from school?
I think it's going to make for... Okay, reason enough to move is that the Formula One racing that's been going on there that is now contracted to take place over the next 10 years every November in Las Vegas, that would be reason enough for me to be like, look, I got to get out of here.
I can't believe that he didn't come up with a better excuse. Like, that's just, to me, felt like something that they could very easily just brush off as, okay, that's not like a big deal to me.
That's not huge.
I'm going to leave my house, that this miracle that we were able to birth this cul-de-sac, this perfect situation for us, because the Oakland, is it the Oakland Raiders?
It used to be the Oakland Raiders. Now it's Las Vegas.
It shows you how much I know.
Buy Raiders gear and curl activator. I think that was Cody's stance. Was very similar to Ice Cube.
But he doesn't want the Raiders gear.
Not anymore.
He's got to get out of here. If they had stayed in Vegas.
That would have been, his rallying cry, perhaps. But
so I think he made some bullshit up to get them to move.
Well, yeah, and we had our own theories when we were watching through, because that was also very closely related to the Vegas mass shooting that was going on, where if you're talking about not feeling safe, because that was the vague description that was given multiple times on the show at that time. But of course, they're not going to want to talk about that when Cody's livelihood is tied up in selling pew-pew and pew-pew accessories.
I got to tell you, I still kind of feel like maybe he tied those two things together, that the Raiders are coming. They're going to have NFL games here. That's just, another large event that's going to happen on a regular basis here where something bad could happen.
Well, that would be like wanting to move out of Vegas because the Sphere opened. And we've seen video footage of Kody and Robin enjoying some time around the Sphere. Outside of it,
yeah,
at least.
They don't seem to go out of their way to avoid going back to Las Vegas because the traffic is just miserable now.
They still enjoy and participate in some of the events and the activities that are available there. I think Christine's frustration was it seemed like this was pre-decided. Not that this is an open discussion of, oh, we need to move, and where should we go as a family? What would be best? It seemed like the determination had already been made that we should be moving to Flagstaff, and it's time for everybody to get on board.
That was the plan, and they just got them all on board by talking them into it slowly, and they never really talked about considering another place that seriously.
No, it was all sold to them as Flagstaff is the grand promises of a reset for everyone. It was a reset for Mary. It's going to be a reset for Janelle. It's going to be a reset for Christine. Kody will finally get over his honeymoon phase with Robin and start spending equal time amongst the other family households in Flagstaff.
Come on.
He didn't do it in Vegas. He didn't do it in Vegas after they moved into the cul-de-sac. But this is the move that will change our lives for the better.
The magical thinking of that is just so upsetting because it affected so many of the kids in negative ways. And I think that's why Christine was saying her biggest regret was that she and Janelle had talked about maybe the two of us will just stay behind. And then they didn't end up doing it, obviously.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, that was the main issue that was raised here, was where Christine was seeing... Yes, a lot of the general consensus of the fandom was, what the hell are you thinking at this time where you are being sold on the Coyote Pass pipe dream? Because that's what it is. There's no reality that's in there. This is all made up, imaginary stuff. Fill in the blank on whatever you think Coyote Pass is going to be able to provide for you in your life. And then, yes, I will say that that's what it's going to do so that you pick up everything and move. But the regret then happens of, what if we had stayed? Maybe that was something Christine could have pushed for a little bit more. She was just kind of in it here where this will be the time that he changes. Maybe he'll finally figure out what he's been missing.
Yeah, but he also really pushed for where we go one, we go all, that they were not going to leave anyone behind in Vegas and that they were all going to move on the exact same day because they had to all go to Flagstaff together. Maybe he suspected that if they moved in succession, that some of them wouldn't end up coming.
They weren't going to make it. Yeah, he already knew. He had heard rumblings about Christine.
Chateau was like, put me at the bottom of the list. Although we saw her attitude change when she fell in love with Flagstaff, man.
It's true. Yeah.
She very quickly became like the number one. I would say she was the one who was pushing the hardest to move after that, because she was ready to go purchase a plot of land without discussing it with anyone else.
Yeah, she was ready to throw around deposits on a couple different spots just so they didn't lose it. Wanted to make sure they got that.
So lost her partner in crime. Not going to be able to stay behind.
So it becomes evident as part of this move to Flagstaff that even just the approach of saying, okay, well, the shared goal that we have is Coyote Pass. We are going to recreate the cul-de-sac miracle of Vegas on this isolated and abandoned stretch of property in Flagstaff, Arizona. How do we achieve this? Let's rein in what our temporary housing situation is going to be so we can make some affordable decisions. We can cut a little bit to make that a reality. Make Coyote Pass come to fruition through this financial budgeting, I guess, that's going to take place. Their
carefully calculated financial plan.
Yeah, they have to be very careful with the resources available to them, because the sooner they're able to pay off this land, the sooner they're able to build and get all back together out on this land.
You know what else is funny to me, though, is they're acting like they just want to recreate Vegas, but that's not really true. Christine was hoping they could rewind the clock to what was it, like the first 10 or so years? Was it the first 10 or so years? Or just there was like a 10-year span where things were really good. And that's what she wants to go back to.
Yeah, before Robin.
Yeah, so you're not even really being honest, and you don't have realistic expectations about what this move is going to be able to do.
Well, then it becomes apparent too, well, we're not actually trying to recreate the cul-de-sac necessarily, because Kody has the bright idea to build the one Biggie Housie, of course. And so that's what then throws a wrench into this whole scenario, because now Christine is not on board with one big house with everybody living together.
No. This is a nightmare.
It's a trap is what it is. Yeah, this is going to be sinking everything financially into this. I'm not going to be able to leave if we're in one house. Like, there's no way I'm going to be getting paid out on any sort of level.
One of the things that's always confused me about the Biggie Housie is that I could never really tell where Robin landed on it.
It was her idea, though. Well, kind of.
I think it kind of was. I believe that she wanted the experience of living in one big house together, because that's something that she missed out on when they all lived in Lehigh. But then I could definitely see her understanding that this would be a real big financial issue, in that what is it you are leaving to your children? Because she's very focused on the estate and the legacy and what's going to be left behind for the tenders. And this big giant house that isn't really resellable.
Yeah, I mean, I think she wanted everybody to, if her kids were going to get married, they're all just going to move in with her.
It's like a compound then.
Yeah, I think that was what she was going for. In her mind was like, that was best case scenario, how that would work out. Turns out there's a hole in the bottom of the family bank account, though, that...
Yeah, the pot's been leaking for some time.
A little bit.
And
here.
Someone's underneath there with their hand out, catching all the coins.
Well, the hole in the bottom of the pot is named Robin. And Kody, I would say, too. Like, not to put anything past him, either.
Man, I need a whole season where they just meet with a forensic accountant and they go through all of the history of that bank account.
I think they closed it out, so I don't know if there's an account history to go over anymore, unless Janelle has the paper statements.
She probably does. I could see Janelle saving like her AT&T bills from 6 years ago. She still has every single one of them filed away.
I have a lot of receipts. Around.
There was almost no money left in the family pot by the time they closed the account out.
That was the scary part. Was because Christine was like, oh, I mean, we get paid in a lump sum from the show. So, I mean, it feels like that would be part of Kody's grand scheme of these women who are trying to leave me and take my money, and then he's going to go and spend every single cent on some stupid impractical thing.
I do believe that he was strategically draining that account for a period of time.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's absolutely what's going on there. But Robin also her household has a higher level of need because she has tenders of a certain age. Very delicate situation over there with Ari and Saul.
Generally, kids get more expensive as they get older, correct?
I think that's the assessment. For the most part, like especially when they start like driving and stuff, and vehicles get into the mix. But it's also a friendly reminder too that Christine had to remind Kody a few times that Truly's only like 18 months older than Saul. So if you're saying that as the reason of why you're staying at Robin's house all the time, shouldn't that also be the case that you should be at my house a lot then too? By that reasoning?
Yeah, that would make sense. He forgets about Truly.
He does.
It's not just Truly, it's Savannah as well.
Yes.
Any of the younger kids who are just inconvenient to remember because then his arguments about why he has to stay at Robin's house would then apply to them as well. He just forgets all about that.
Doesn't like that. So this is where it gets interesting because then Cody's abandonment basically is on full display here, essentially. And where Christine used to work around where it was, if Kody can't be involved in something, then she didn't want to go do that. Let's not have fun without Kody around because that would be rude, I suppose, is the general assessment.
I bet you that's something that he has imposed on them. I don't think that that's just Christine saying, I really wish this was a family activity, which I do think she felt. But Kody definitely seems like the type where he'll get upset if it was something he wanted to participate in, and then he'll act like he had FOMO.
Well, but then like that's where Janelle had that workaround. Christine sees Janelle doing this all the time, where Janelle extends an invite to Kody and says, hey, we're doing this cool thing. We're going to go do this.
RSVP or don't, I don't care.
If you want to be there, cool, be there. If not, that's where we'll be. So she had kind of this laissez-faire sort of approach to like, I'm not really catering or like bending over backwards.
Is it laissez-faire or is it just low expectations?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. Yeah. But like also just in the fact that she's going to do this stuff, like don't let it prevent
you from going on and doing the things you want to do.
Yeah. She still wants to go and spend time with her kids. So she's going to go do this thing and we're going to go do something fun. We're going to have a good time doing it. So that was kind of a distancing way of Janelle to kind of convince herself that, oh, Cody's not like intentionally not spending time with us, I guess. But wouldn't you feel annoyed if you're inviting this man to all these different things and he doesn't come to stuff? I mean, Christine was talking about how like after she had moved back to Utah, Truly saw Kody maybe 5 times in that year then.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that it makes it feel like doing family activities with your piece of the family is optional. And for him, he really can't be given an option because if he is given one, he just doesn't show up.
Right. Is what we're learning, what we're understanding here. So Christine is gaining a little bit more independence. We saw some of that growth in the cul-de-sac in Vegas. Then after the move to Flagstaff, she was really kind of expanding into that. But the frustration is building though too, because now she's finding herself in these conversations with her kids where she has to explain, oh, Kody can't make it today. He would really, oh gosh, he would love to be here with you, but he just, he couldn't make it.
And the girls are like rolling their eyes because they know that's not true.
Well, at a certain
Just stop
age,
telling me that because he just doesn't show up to things.
At a certain age, you come to the realization where it's like, if he wanted to be here, then he would be here.
They knew he was a deadbeat before she ever had to divorce him or talk about it on television. They saw it in his actions.
So this is where Christine kind of feels bad about, there was a lot of catering that went on to Cody's feelings, Cody's emotions at the expense of Christine and her children. So she's kind of realizing that in hindsight a little bit. She feels some regret as far as letting that go on as long as it did. But this all ends up being kind of a stepping stone for her to realize leaving is possible because you are doing all this stuff basically as a single parent. You're already doing it on your own.
You've been doing it for a really long time.
So like just do that extra step to officially be on your own. And it's pretty much the same thing.
Is this when she kind of starts planning her getaway? Because it unfolds over a period of time.
Well, we
Or
have
COVID hits first.
We have kind of a COVID sidebar first. Yeah, there's like, so she hasn't like fully committed to the plan yet, because I think that's when she talks with Annie. She has to run that by Annie first. Somebody with some experience on leaving a family.
Thank God for Grandma Annie.
For real. The
Again,
MVP still.
Was she thanked in the acknowledgement section?
I believe so.
Okay, because she needed her own dedicated chapter.
I mean, I think she did. Yeah, personally. But okay, so we had kind of like a Coyote Pass / COVID sidebar here, where there was like the Coyote Pass stuff was about the confusion around the plots, because the names that are on the plots, the way that the acreage is split up, none of this makes sense. And then even the spot allocations where Christine is seeing, oh, this is a beautiful place for my back porch to look out and view this beautiful mountain back here. Yeah, that is great. Until we walk around with the surveyor and the surveyor says, yeah, no, that's not your plot anymore. Or Kody says, that's not your plot anymore. Because Robin wants that one. That's a real good one. So you're going to be over here in the trees, okay?
Do you think that Kody purposely had those plots named in a very, or I guess titled in a very chaotic way because he knew it would take them forever to figure out what they were going to do next?
It'll take them years to sort all this out.
Or it's because he just assumed they were going to go ahead and do the one Biggie Housie, so it was going to be an irrelevant issue.
It's either to push them towards Biggie Housie, or it's to push them towards avoiding leaving. It's too complicated to this overwhelming task of trying to distinguish and separate out all this stuff that's been going on. That seems to be the main goal. Like it was in a way to just trap everyone and not have them leave.
Which I don't know if they were thinking about Christine at that point, but maybe it was because of Mary. Because they're coming off of the seasons where Mary got catfish, and they're all still assuming that she's trying to get out of even coming on the move to Flagstaff, that she's going to move into the house in Parowan.
Christine said that she'd been talking about leaving since Truly got sick. So that was like as early as...
Yeah, but I don't know who knew it.
I think her kids knew it.
But did Kody know?
I think Kody knew later. And so then when he found out that Christine had been talking about leaving for that long, then that was extra insulting
The
to him.
betrayal.
Yeah.
That everyone else knew about it. Nobody told him.
Even worse. So that's where we get into betrayal, loyalty. That's a lot of the COVID stuff. Fidelis. The COVID stuff that comes up, because then we have the protocols. The COVID protocols, of course. How much of this was CDC-related guidelines for everyone's health and safety? How much of this was just Kody exerting control over people and using this as a way to test their loyalty to him?
So she said that the network sent them a 17-page document about things that they were going to have to do during COVID to continue filming. And Kody and Robin developed their own separate list from that.
I believe so.
I mean, not necessarily that they use that for inspiration, although I kind of think they probably did. But you were already all given like very in-depth directions as to what needed to be done to continue the job that you all needed money from. And then they developed this supplemental document that had rules above and beyond that.
Yeah, because then that was Kody's guideline, his baseline for, if you don't do these things that I stipulate out, then you will be shunned. You will be punished accordingly for that. And that becomes evident with a lot of his children who were unable to attend to the like strict rules, the stricter rules that were included there, because they had jobs, because they had, there was other things that were happening in the world at that time. Also, we get into the vaccine conundrum, because clearly Kody and Robin are taking the COVID protocols very, very seriously, but then any sort of prevention of spreading the disease or getting the disease themselves, that's where we draw the line eventually, because yes, we find out that they did not support the vaccine.
Well, so Kody made a comment to her about how he couldn't come near them after they got vaccinated because he believed they put the virus into their bodies.
Which that's not how that works scientifically.
I mean, literally, that is not how this particular vaccine worked. So that would have been it for me. That would have been my breaking point of this man lives in his own reality. If he is going to say that he cares so much about getting sick from this. But then he has not even done the actual research to understand the correct scientific information to inform his decision of whether or not he wants to get vaccinated.
Yeah, don't open the links. If Cody's sending you video links, articles, things like that.
Oh my gosh, that too. Who among us did not experience this during COVID, where you got unwanted texts from people of just all kinds of crazy shit during COVID that they were spending time reading about and scrolling on their phone watching?
I knew that was going to happen too. Yeah. Everybody who was against mask stuff, I was like, all right, well, when a vaccine comes out, we're going to get on board with this, right? No, not going to happen. So it was a big problem.
And I want to talk about the list again, though, of the protocols, because she says she thinks Kody and Robin came up with that together. So Kody and Robin came up with the protocols together and then decided not to get vaccinated, which ultimately results in them getting COVID.
Ironic. Yeah, the nanny is the first person in their orbit to get COVID. So I think that should tell you something, I guess, right?
She does add some context behind the what does the nanny do infamous moment, because I think the point was, what is it that the nanny's doing that the nanny of all people is allowed to come in and out of your house every single day, but then your family members aren't able to do that?
Because that was the whole thing with every single time Christine was told, and Janelle and Mary, of if you need help with something, you should ask your sister wife. Don't ask Kody because he's busy.
Oh, definitely don't ask Kody.
He's busy.
He's going.
He's out there going. So ask your sister wife. You need to rely on your sister wives if you need anything. But then Robin doesn't get that same direction. It's immediately hiring out. We're outsourcing these sister wife responsibilities, and we're not actually living polygamy. It's just kind of, we're funneling 4 adult salaries into one monogamous relationship at the expense of everybody else. Is that what this is?
Mm-hmm.
Is Sister Wives itself an MLM in some ways? And then if so, why did Robin benefit most financially when she was the last one in?
Oh, that's right. That's like an inverted pyramid. That doesn't make sense.
She should have been Mary. She should have been the founder. And then they should have all been in her downline. But that's not how that worked. Let's talk about the scoliosis journey here. We're going to talk about, you can't talk about COVID and skip over Ysabel's scoliosis surgery that took place.
I knew that revisiting this was going to suck because watching on the show was really, really hard to see how that all played out and how disappointing a parent Kody was to one of his children when they truly, truly needed him.
Ysabel needed him. Yeah. I think the saddest part for me was like, there was some stuff that maybe wasn't as apparent in the show, because some things were, where it was like the conversation on the porch where they're telling him, hey, we have to go do this surgery. And he's just immediately saying, well, I can't leave my family for that long.
And it's really like, inconvenient that all of a sudden she needs surgery. She can't just wait.
It's been going on for a very long time. You kept kicking the can down the road.
He's acting like he doesn't remember all the years in Vegas that they had her doing exercises and sending her to camps and acting like they were going to be able to cure her scoliosis in another way.
Well, then also it becomes this whole wild conspiracy of, oh, you're only planning to do this surgery now because it's COVID and I can't go. This is you making me look bad as a dad. No, like, you're making your own decisions. We're telling you what needs to happen. Ysabel needs you in this moment. You told her that when she needed surgery, you would be there for her. And now you're going back on that.
I have a question. If one of the tenders, let's just say, God forbid, had been in some type of unpredictable accident that caused them to have to go to the hospital during this time frame.
An ATV accident, perhaps.
Do you think that Kody would have gone to the hospital to be there with them?
Yes, absolutely.
So because this is planned, it's different?
Well, I think the travel element is probably what's most complicated for Kody.
I understand that, but he could have chosen a method of travel that he felt more comfortable with. You don't have to get on a plane.
You don't have to. I mean, driving isn't much better because then the amount of stops that you're going to have to make on the way there, could you end up interacting with people?
But he has the magic list.
I mean...
the list that's going to keep him from getting COVID that everybody has to follow. So can't he just figure out a way to adapt the list for his road trip?
Well, what bothers me is where it's like, okay, well, this is clearly a child in your family who needs you at this point. is this not worth the sacrifice of saying, hey, I'm going to quarantine with you?
Right. The possible risk versus the outcome of being there with her for her surgery.
Yeah, because even the risk assessment stuff, we already debunked that too, because Kody's magical formula for bouncing between houses was that he's allowed to go between houses, but nobody else is. And he wasn't waiting 2 weeks in between in a neutral location before going to other houses. So if anybody's going to be spreading it in the family, sir, it would have been you, Kody, because you were bouncing from house to house.
No, he would say he got it from somebody else.
I know what he would say.
It wouldn't even matter if he was the one, he was patient zero who came down with the fever first. He would blame it on one of the other kids in the house or one of the wives.
So, like, the part that hurt was when Ysabel was still kind of holding out hope. Secretly, maybe he'll come surprise me. Maybe
she's getting the surgery and she's coming out of anesthesia and she's asking for Kody because she's convinced that he can't seriously not be coming. He must be trying to surprise me.
He'll have to be doing something. Yeah, he'll have to do some sort of gesture, some sort of involvement here as part of this. So then the he's not coming realization that kind of settles in there. That was the part that was rough to read about here. I don't know if it was called out as much on the show the first time we watched through it, but that was a brutal one.
And he does nothing to try to compensate for the fact that he's not there, because they call him when she comes out of surgery and he refuses to sing a song to her over the phone, which is the only thing she's asking him to do.
I don't feel like singing. What if Christine had said that at McKelty's wedding? Where would we be today?
You know what? Sometimes you've got to say that.
Sometimes
it is the right place, the right time, the right circumstance.
Sometimes, okay. And then also, I would argue the other side. Sometimes you got to sing even when you don't feel like singing. Okay.
Maybe that's what she should have said. He has a lot to say about Christine and how nasty she is and how she talks behind his back all the time. I don't think she talked enough shit behind his back or to his face, because there are many times reading through these chapters where I would have told him off. This for sure would have been one of those times.
This was another realization moment for Christine, because she was coming to the understanding of I'm the only person here. I'm the person who's here for Ysabel. Nobody else is here for Ysabel in the hospital, and we're okay. I am fine without Kody. And I'm not just lying to myself, telling myself that I'm fine like I had for the past 25 years. I am fine. We're doing it.
Can I tell you, this moment of realization that she had is this is something that I think a lot of women experience, where, especially when they have a partner who is not helpful, is not really an equal partner for many, many, many years, they then end up having something like this where they realize, oh, I'm capable of doing this on my own. I've been doing life on my own, so I'm ready to move on. And then their husbands act so confused about what happened and how they just dropped this bomb on them.
This is why divorce lawyers were very busy during COVID. It was a booming season.
She's one of many.
For mortgage loan refinance people and divorce attorneys. They were busy. It was like Super Bowl season for them. Oh, my other favorite part of this was how Kody was upset that Aspen and Mitch visiting Ysabel in New Jersey after her surgery made him look bad. Not that he was glad that Ysabel could have the support and the love and care of some siblings.
There were some family members who were able and willing to travel, who maybe were a little younger, healthier, who didn't have as much to risk
who were
in his vision.
Yeah, and quarantining around the trip and then working around that. That's great that they would be there to support you and help you through this, even though I couldn't. I wish I could have. Maybe we could have said something along those lines. Follow that sentiment a little bit more.
It's all about him.
No, it's you made him look bad because you showed Ysabel that Kody absolutely could have done that. If he cared to do that.
He must have been fuming when they aired that episode, because it's probably not just that they went, it's that they filmed it. So then we got to see that, because didn't Hunter go as well?
Yes.
So there were a number of siblings who went to visit her in New Jersey after the surgery, but no Kody.
No Kody. So this is where Christine starts questioning eternity, or her understanding of eternity. Am I going to be spending eternity with these people? These people
Right, it
who
dawns on her.
like, this is a constant thing where it's my needs are not being met. I'm being overlooked. I'm being usurped in all of these ways. Is this what eternity is going to look like?
Because it's pretty miserable right now.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, like I'm not recommending this sort of setup as far as where we're at right now. But then we get into the no door, no intimacy part of the story here with
we finally
Christine's-
got an explanation as to why Kody wanted to put that door in.
the remodel, and it tracks. Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. But Christine was excited at the suggestion of...
I know, our freaky bitch was about to be hanging from the rafters.
She was like, hey.
She was redecorating the wedding bed. She was getting all excited. And then come to find out he just doesn't want the cat to come upstairs.
It turns out that the door was to keep the cat out, not let the pussy loose.
And that's it for Christine. She's checking out.
I got confused where she was talking about how Kody she was going through like the routine of what they would normally do. Kody would come over for dinner. Maybe they'll play a game with the kids. Maybe they'll watch some TV or catch something on TV and then go to sleep. And then that was pretty much it. But Christine was talking about how she would go to her bedroom. Kody would come up in the bedroom too in his chair. Does he have like a cuck chair?
Yeah, remember? It was that leather chair that he was hanging all in.
Does he sleep
during the
in the
episode
chair?
where they were talking about what they're going to do with the house?
But does he sleep in that chair then in her bedroom?
I think he purposely did not want to lay in the bed with her because it would give her an idea that like maybe she could make a move. So I think he sat in that chair as long as humanly possible.
So I mean that's weird, right?
Yeah, it is weird.
It's a little odd.
It goes beyond them not having sex. It's also that he doesn't even want to have the intimacy of laying in the bed next to her because he's so fearful that it may lead to something that he does not want to do.
So this is where Christine is noticing while they're installing the door, there were a lot of mentions of the cat and keeping the cat out. Is that the only reason why we're doing this install? I thought this remodel was kind of like a landmark moment for our relationship, that we were going to improve things moving forward. No, Cody's like turned off by the way that you're mean to Robin and stuff.
He doesn't even lie to her. Because I feel like he normally would lie to Mary and say, sure, this is a corner that we're turning. There's some good things that may be coming out of this. That's why we installed the door.
Do you like corn?
Instead, he tells her straight up, I'm not interested in ever having a physical relationship with you ever again. So no, that's not why I'm installing the door.
Yeah, so no sex for Christine is the last straw. And she basically tells him, hey, pack your stuff, because I'm not Mary. I'm not going to let you just putter around here and randomly box some things up and slowly remove them out of the house and never come back ever again and just phase me out of existence. That's not how this is going to work.
So she just beat him to it because he makes it out like it's a big betrayal that she has all these boxes packed up and in the garage for him to take. But she's just getting ahead of what she knows is going to happen, which is that he's going to slowly move himself out of the house.
Well, and I love how annoyed she was. Even just seeing his stuff around was where it was just like, this has got to go. Because it feels like an intrusion.
Well, yeah, it's like my house is a storage unit for you to place your shit that you come and visit once in a while.
I love that she called him out for filming his reaction to the boxes in the garage before they talked about it on camera. So he had already done that. And then he had to like pretend like it was the first time they were talking about it, even though he knew about the boxes. I made sure to make note of Primal Scream Day, which if you choose to celebrate, that will be November 2nd.
Mark it on your calendars.
So mark that on your calendar.
You go outside and you scream. You can scream at a person or about a person.
Just generally.
You don't have to wait for them to leave the premises because that's not, that's how it actually played out here, was that Kody was still in the driveway while Christine was out in the backyard screaming.
Wailing like a banshee as he's in the driveway still. This is actually close to one of my big change days. I think it's November 4th was mine that I have marked in my phone, where it was just like a crap day. Really bad day. Turning point day, though.
You marked a terrible day in your phone to remember every year?
Yes. Why wouldn't I do that? No, it's to do something fun in light of that.
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay.
That was always, it was the worst day ever.
So make it a good day.
I'm choosing to make that be a good day instead. So now we get to the point where Christine knows what she wants. She wants to leave Kody. So she calls Annie up and she says, hey, I know what I'm doing, but I don't really know what I'm doing necessarily.
It's a family affliction that they're not very good at coming up with plans because she knows she wants to leave, but how to get there, all the stuff in between, she doesn't really know how to fill in those blanks. So that's where she needs Annie to come in. And not just Annie, but Janelle as well.
A little bit of Janelle too.
Janelle was very involved in her planning to leave the family.
Well, I love how Janelle just immediately fired back, not with like, because I think it was Christine had mentioned, I'm thinking about leaving Kody. And Janelle's like, that's dumb because you don't have any way of making money right now. What are you doing? What do you mean you're thinking about leaving? It doesn't look like you're thinking about leaving. So it's not even like a bid to, no, Christine, you should stay. Don't leave.
Oh, she's not going to try to talk her into staying.
No, she's like, I don't see why that would even be a consideration for you at this point in time.
She wants to know, where's your business plan? Much like they harassed Mary for hers with the Parowan house.
Very much.
If you're planning to leave, I need to know your 15 to 30 point plan of how you're going to get there.
So luckily, she does have 9 months of planning for moving to Utah. That was how she kind of frames this. What are my step-by-steps to move to Utah in 9 months? And she's able to back into these dates, set these goals. I have one thing to focus on per month, whatever it needs to be. I have my conversation with God. We're real good.
The most well-planned move that they've had on this show.
Well, that too, yeah. And you got to get yourself right with God before you move. Otherwise, we've seen what happens when you just try and do it in a panic like that.
So this is because she's worried. Is she worried? I think it's kind of like towards the bottom of her list. Like this is like month 8 that she's just going to check in with God before she hands the keys over to the realtor.
Well, no, I think that was like before she was checking in with God before she put the plan together.
I'm teasing, but
so
he does not care. He's like, leave Kody. I'm for it. We're all for it. Janelle didn't talk you out of it. I'm certainly not going to.
Hey, I'm a parent. You're a parent. Do what you got to do. Okay. Like, I think that's the unwritten rule.
I don't know. This just kept reminding me of the Golden Girls scene where Dorothy pretends that she's the voice of God to get Rose to go back to sleep.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Rose, go to sleep.
When you have a list, when you have the actionable things that you're doing, this makes it real now. It's becoming this thing that she's working towards. Leaving is scary, but it becomes more realistic at that point. Eventually, she brings it up with Kody that, hey, divorce is the way that we're going. He didn't really seem to dispute on the divorce so much, except he was very concerned about what was going to happen to my house.
And his money.
My house that he...
Not his kids.
Was not around.
Not his wife.
Did not spend any time at this home.
And he's already taken his name off of it. Isn't that correct?
That was a very important part of the story.
What a blessing in disguise. I know when this was playing out, we were all trying to figure out, okay, but how did Christine manage to get Kody's name off of her house in Flagstaff? Because legally, that house was 100% hers. So even if he had fought her on selling the house and moving or wanting money from the sale, he wasn't entitled to anything because he took his name off of it.
Well, I like the part that she pointed out, too, was when his name was on it. If Robin divorced Kody at that point, she would have had claim to half of Christine's house.
Or some portion of it. She could have wanted some payout because it was part of Kody's assets.
It's Kody's assets. So then it's like, whoa. That's a whole other mess here. So the interesting thing is Christine didn't have to do any of that. Kody outmaneuvered himself. He forced her at his behest to please remove me from the title of this home so that I can put my name on a home with Robin. The She-Rah Chateau needs my name. I need to clear up my credit.
No, but again, that's another thing where he didn't even tell her that.
Well, that wasn't, Christine wasn't sure why this was happening. He was pitching it to Christine as, well, this is an asset for you. It's yours. And so she was like, okay, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, like.
And that it did end up being. It was an asset for her to move away with.
It became. Yeah. Yes. True.
So watch what you wish for, Kody, when you're trying to manipulate people. That one backfired.
The solution became, as part of this separation, though, was that since the house is all Christine's, and Christine did everything to put the house on the market, do the proper repairs for things, like she paid for all that stuff. So all of the money that's involved in that, we're not doing a split afterwards. That's her stuff. That's what she's taking with her. The only thing that's still tied up right now is her name on the plot at Coyote Pass. Keep the plot, you filthy animal. I don't want it. I would give up any of the financial gains of that plot just to no longer interact with you people, is basically where Christine ends up.
I feel like she probably had to pitch that a little bit more. Like, I just love that plot so much. Like, it's invaluable. Whoever's going to end up building a house there, because they're going to have this beautiful, unobscured view that I wish that I could take with me to Utah. It's really, really a tough decision of whether or not I'm going to keep it.
You want to buy me out? Is that what we want to do?
You have to play a mind game with him and convince him that he's really getting something.
Because Kody's mindset at this point for divorce is that, we should split everything 50-50 financially. And it's like, 50-50?
What a far cry from the man who got on TV and said over and over again that if any of these women wanted to leave, he would cash them out and they could go on their way. And in the meantime, she's got to fight for every penny that she takes with her.
Luckily, she didn't have to fight too hard. Yeah, because there's nothing that Kody could do to have any claim over that. I think he realized the mistake too. Whoopsie doopsie, a little too late, but
Robin was probably happy to get that piece of property back.
I think that was what they saw it as, was, boy, what a win that is, because this land is going to be worth so much money. And so at that point, they didn't even care. Honestly, Christine's still the winner based on our Coyote Pass pricing breakdown that we did for what they ultimately sold for. And just the fact that Christine didn't have to be involved in any of those headaches and the complete time suck and energy waste that was.
Yeah, it was not worth holding on to.
No, absolutely not.
She does express regret for the way she went about getting rid of her plot, though, because she just gives it to Kody and Robin instead of maybe retitling it and putting Christine or putting Mary and Janelle on it as well, so that it went to all four of them and not just Kody and Robin.
I mean, I guess, but it's just like, at that point, you already know that the titles are messed up. The names that are on there are not the names that accurately reflect the ownership distribution of the land. So at that point, you got to do what's best for you. And so I think that was the space that Christine was in. That's what she was operating from. And that's just how it played out. So it's kind of on Mary and Janelle. You guys shouldn't have signed the papers then if that was how the titling was going to go.
Well, and Christine did go and have conversations with them about the fact that she felt like Kody might try to take advantage of them with the Coyote Pass distribution of the land. And the both of them at first did not take that like as a serious thing that they should be considering.
No, not at all.
So I don't really know that she needs to feel all that bad about the way she went about it, because even when they were forewarned that maybe things weren't on the up and up, they didn't really take it seriously.
So now they got to tell Tim, one of the original showrunner producers of Sister Wives. They jumped on a Zoom call against Kody's better judgment too, because he was like, I don't know, do I need to be involved? Yeah, probably. I think you should be there when we're telling him.
I don't know. I think when we're going to have a conversation with somebody, first of all, that we're employed along with on a show that we've been working on for a decade.
Over a decade.
Someone we have a personal and business relationship with. Yeah, maybe the two of us should be delivering that news to him.
Correct. So Tim cries. It's very upsetting. He was worried that he saw that this was where this was kind of headed. This is where it was going. Everybody warned the Browns at the beginning of the shows, all reality TV families break up, but we'll be different, right? That's what everybody always thinks. No, we're not going to be a family that gets broken up by being on reality TV, though.
When Tim stopped working on the show, there was a lot of speculation about that among the fandom. And, you know, it's just having Christine address it in the book in the way that she did, it made it sound like he was just so heartbroken by the fact that this family fell apart, that the world of reality television ultimately got to them and they were another statistic, that he just could not go on working on the show.
Well, yeah, she was highlighting that, how difficult it was for her to go through this. But must have been equally difficult, if not more difficult, for production, who had to be all up in their business throughout filming, and then they have to take all that footage, go back and edit, so then they're pouring through this, reliving all of these moments just as much as Christine and Kody are on a regular basis here. So now we got to tell the kids and some more adults that, hey, the divorce is an actual thing.
I don't know. Maybe we'll tell some of the kids. Maybe they'll
Some of
just
them.
find out from walking in the room while I'm having a conversation about it with someone else.
Some will be told. Some will overhear. Seemed like a lot of people were overhearing things because we know how loud Christine and McKelty's conversations can get. So it makes sense that people were just overhearing this. But the general sentiment, general reaction from a lot of Christine's kids, she was kind of surprised by this. No viewers were surprised by this, but it was kind of a, well, it's about time. This is long overdue. This makes sense that this is about where we're at now.
I think she should have sat all of the kids down together and told them at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to be broken up. I mean, I get that they were like living in different states or different cities.
And some of them just came to know what was happening a little sooner than others because Christine was confiding in them as other adults and maybe seeking advice from them.
Yeah.
But still, I think that they should have gotten on Christine's family Zoom call and told them all at the same time. Because Ysabel finds out from just walking in the room.
Ysabel overheard it, truly overhears it. And those are people that Christine lives in a house with. So, like, yeah, those are the people that should be learning about this.
I mean, truly points out to her, I'm kind of like the person who's most affected by this, and I'm the last to find out because I'm the one that's going with you to Utah.
Correct. Yes.
Am I getting that right, Mom?
Yeah. Does that sound like a pretty accurate assessment of where we're at right now? But Christine's loophole of, oh, we're already divorced. It's not that we're in the process of getting divorced. It's already done. It's over because didn't really have much of a legal marriage by any standard or spiritual, really. I mean, it was just
it's
spiritual.
Really kind of been unfolding over, your entire lifespan, truly. Like since day one.
Yeah. So,
it's been slowly happening.
Have you noticed anything different in the past couple of months? Because, like, it's been a few months. No, not much has been different. Okay, well then good. Then we don't have to deal with that.
Because not much else is going to change.
Don't think about it anymore. I did like the note that Christine told Mary ahead of time before telling them in the group on camera.
She didn't want to blindside Mary.
So that was a nice note.
Tried to do the right thing.
Look, Mary's been blindsided by enough things on this series, so I do applaud Christine for giving her a heads up on that. She did take a moment to note that Mary was talking about how many questions were popping into her mind at the time when they were on the phone, but then when it came time for filming, because Christine said, why don't you think about those questions, and then you can ask me in person. And then when she's telling everyone the update there, Mary didn't have any questions. She's just processing.
Yeah, I don't think she was going to ask the questions that she had in front of Robin.
I think
Kody.
The questions that were in question here were, how did you do that? How did you go about this?
Right.
Do you have a step-by-step guide?
Can you send me like whatever documents you have or the moving company information or the realtor that you used? I might be interested in talking to someone as well pretty soon.
Did you do this through Ronald McDonald Esquire?
Yeah, I think there's a reason why Mary didn't ask any of those things once the camera started rolling.
She had specific questions, different questions, not questions about your situation necessarily, Christine. So don't take offense. Robin's reaction, though, in the group, as we saw on the show, boo-hoo, what does this mean for me?
You're ruining my life.
You're destroying everything that I've built.
Yeah, she reacted like you would have expected a teenage child to react to their parents getting divorced.
Or like an initial wife. Like if she was one of the original three where it was like, we established this family.
We've been together for all of these years. I thought I really knew you.
Through all this stuff. And then now it's not that. So that seemed weird too, because it was like Robin was taking credit for building the family that they know and love right now, even though it's not going so great. Because that was what Christine had pointed out too, was I don't even know if us staying together would have been good in the long run, because she thinks about that too, of like the what ifs, if she had stayed or if they had built the one Biggie Housie, or what would that look like? What would that dynamic be? I don't think it would be anything good, because it would still be all of the favoritism towards Robin and her kids. So
I think it would have been 3 lonely women
yeah,
living in a house with a couple.
the detriment of the children who are still there too. Savannah and Truly in particular, who are constantly overlooked in the entire scenario.
But that's okay because Kody has his own little house that he can run off to in the Biggie Housie scenario. He made sure he was going to have a place to go when he got tired of being around everyone else.
Well, that was the red flag for Christine, when she was like, oh, so I'm never going to see you?
Yeah, because he's already planning on how he's going to get out of staying at your house.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, that's what he has in mind.
Sorry, I have a lot of laundry to do over at my apartment.
Well, we get the recounting of the knife in the kidneys conversation. We get to relive that. We get to relive Robin twisting Christine's words and interpreting things in a very finite way of, oh, Christine doesn't want to have relationships with me or my kids ever again.
The most boring parts of this book are when they recount scenes from the show.
Well, especially scenes that we know so well, like the knife in the kidneys. Come on.
You got to give me more information, though. Don't tell me exactly what I watched on TV and not elaborate more, because I'm here for the tea.
Well, we get to relive the COVID experience, the 99.7 degree fever.
This is when Christine and Janelle are in Disney. They're at Disneyland, right?
Correct.
And Kody calls and is like, I need you to, I don't care where the fuck you are. I need you to get in the car. I need you to go to Walgreens for me.
Here's the phone call.
It's an emergency.
Janelle! Janelle! Janelle, listen to me. I am not well. I need help.
Oh, shout out to Christine for being like, look, everyone else has Instacart or DoorDash.
What would you be able
I need you to hit the little app store button and order yourself some Tylenol.
Well, and here's the thing. It's like, you want me to help. You want me to run to the store to get you medicine that I will then have to leave at your doorstep because I cannot interact with you if you have COVID. What else am I going to be able to do? Everyone in your house is sick. I can't interact with anybody there.
Why could Aurora not be the one who went out to go get medicine if she wasn't sick?
Because she's doing all the cooking, all the cleaning. She's doing everything else.
She's busy living the Lydia Plath life.
She's doing the Lydia chores.
Schedule's full.
And she cannot risk that. Yeah, and she can't go out into public because people will be shedding the vaccine virus on her.
Okay, another criticism I have. You know that COVID's going on. You knew that it was going to be something that you needed to prepare for. And all the times that you've gone to the grocery store, Robin never stopped by the medication aisle and grabbed some extra Tylenol. Never stocked up on some Gatorade, some water.
Honestly, never thought that we were going to get it because the protocols, we were going to be following them so strictly. How would we ever get this?
This is the idea that the house is just empty. They have no medication to address this issue, even though they've been so paranoid about getting COVID.
Kody has his health goals too, and Tylenol is not part of that.
I guess. Yeah. Good thing that Christine was able to talk Janelle out of the fact she was going to do it. Do you think she was going to go?
I would be so quick to remind her, Janelle, you had COVID first. Did Kody bring you medicine to your doorstep when you had COVID?
Absolutely not.
I would argue probably not.
She knew not even to ask. He wasn't coming.
There's nothing that Janelle can do by being there that she couldn't do. If she wanted to send an Instacart order to the She-Rah Chateau, that could be helpful from afar. And you don't have to fly back to Flagstaff and leave your vacation early to go do that. You can support and not be directly there in person.
Yeah, no, we've reached the point in this relationship where all you needed to respond back was, wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. I didn't read most of the texts before this, but wow, that's crazy.
And that's it.
Well, so Kody moves down the phone list of who is he going to call next then? Gabe. But he calls Gabe.
I'll call my child whose birthday it is.
He calls Gabe on October 11th, which we all know is Gabe's birthday and a day that will live in infamy because Kody just prattles off. Gabe sees, oh, Cody's calling me on the day of my birth. How thoughtful. I'll answer the phone.
He's just sending you out on an errand.
And he picks up, Gabe, my glutes. I'm locked up. I need electrolytes. And that's what he gets.
He doesn't even have a fever.
I mean, no, but
he thinks he does. He does not have a fever.
He is having, Christine had to write in, I'm sure the editors were like, we have to be careful about how we're going to talk about this because we don't want to spread any COVID misinformation like Kody probably would. But COVID's a pretty tough disease, a tough illness.
Oh, did she imply that he entered a state of psychosis during this time period?
Maybe not psychosis, but like he was having the psychological responses that some people attributed to their experience with COVID.
Oh, that's why he was depressed.
He was having the depressive symptoms of it and hallucinations too? Is that what was going on?
I don't know. The fever was so high, he started having hallucinations. They had to put him in an ice bath.
Something tells me
99.7.
It doesn't take much for Kody to be afraid of being alone with his thoughts, is kind of my assessment of that. The same reason why a lot of people didn't want to quarantine. I don't want to stay at home with my thoughts for any amount of time. I got to keep moving. I got to keep running. I got to keep going to the next thing. So that way I don't have to stop and think about what's actually bothering me.
Did Gabe go get him his medicine?
He did.
Wow.
Gabe went and got him medicine.
That makes the story even sadder.
Well, because then Kody called him back later and was like, I didn't even realize what day it was. And
yeah,
apologized.
because it was like, it's your DoorDasher's birthday.
Yeah.
Would you like to increase the tip?
He didn't do it through DoorDash.
I know.
The other brutal part is that he called Gwen, too. Gwen's birthday is right around this time as well. But he's just working down the list of, all right, who's in Flagstaff who I can call to bring me medicine now? Because that was what Gwen was trying to have a pleasantry exchange. Oh, hi, Dad. I have COVID. First thing out of his mouth. Okay. What do you want me to do with that? I don't.
Remember when my sister was in kidney failure and you were busy doing laundry at Robin's house?
You have a touch of flu? Is that what you're saying?
Because that's the energy I'm going to bring to this conversation.
Something like that.
They didn't leave him with any medication when he left the hospital?
Well, he didn't go to the hospital. Robin went to the
did.
hospital. He was just out in the car. Probably just glad to be out of the She-Rah Chateau. Even the descriptions that Christine gave where Truly stayed the night there one time does not sound like a pleasant experience going to the She-Rah Chateau.
No, I was laughing, though, at the part where she was talking about how there were no curtains and how that was, like, deeply disturbing to Truly.
No curtains.
And
we knew. Yeah, we saw.
We all saw with our own eyes. There are no curtains in that whole house. There's
curtains.
No blind, no curtains, no drapes. There's no nothing. The windows are just fully exposed to the outside.
That was not a temporary thing because Christine was trying to be like, oh, they didn't have curtains. Yeah, they still didn't.
Like they didn't decorate her room at all. Like they didn't even give her curtains.
No.
It's like, no, baby.
That's the whole house.
The whole house.
Yeah, that's the look. That's what they're going with.
It's because I'm telling you, Robin thinks that rich people don't have blinds.
Yeah, it's like a status thing.
We'll have to see the new house, the She-Rah Chateau, how they decorate that. We're getting here. It's next week. I hope that we get to see.
Yeah, it's coming in hot.
See them do a whole walkthrough of it.
Christine kind of recounts through a couple different scenarios as far as like moving to Utah, bouncing back and forth, because then every time she was going back to Flagstaff, she was feeling sick. She was like having physical duress.
It's called anxiety, baby. You're having the anxiety poops.
Yeah. I'm ill.
My tummy hurts, but I'm being brave about it. That's the sweatshirt that she needed every time she had to go in the car.
Pretty much. That was what was going on. And then we had the Battle of the Snowblower too, which we did get to see that on the show. That was included, where Kody was trying to take over Christine's move to Utah here because, well, that's not how I would do it. I would put the snowblower on the back. Okay, well, that's great. I didn't ask you how you would do it. I'm asking if you are able to get this on there right now so I can pack other stuff. Otherwise, your services are no longer required here.
She was just trying to get something done so that she can move along with her day, and he had to insert himself into it as though he had to be at the helm of moving her out of the house.
No good deed goes unpunished. Christine was just trying to give Kody an easy task to, hey, here's what you could help me out with.
No, she was trying to save Garrison a trip because Garrison was going to come do it.
Well, that too, yeah.
And then she had to deal with Kody, and it was like, man, that was not worth it.
I shouldn't have even brought it up. Honestly, yeah, probably shouldn't have even mentioned it at all, but here we are. These are all just reminders of why it's so great to not be married to Kody anymore, though. There were several instances that Christine was having conversations with Kody, interactions with Kody, filming with Kody, where it was just kind of reassurance on, you made the right decision. Leaving was a good call. This is not the guy for you.
He knew that, though, because she mentioned, I think it was the very beginning of this section, about how she made a list of all the things that she wanted in a partner and then read the list to him. And he was like, oh, I'm none of those things.
Well, that's weird. I don't do any of those things for you, Christine. Yeah.
And this man still didn't piece together.
Yeah, man.
That maybe she didn't want to be married to him anymore.
We know. Like, that's the problem.
That's the point.
That's the problem.
That's why there's been friction in this marriage for so long.
Well, I also don't plan on correcting any of that. So if you would like that to change, maybe you could change that in yourself. But you got to have dates. If Kody's not the right guy for you, you got to find a new guy.
So this is after she's already moved to Utah. And she spends a year where she doesn't go on dates.
The first year, I mean, and also because she's in a delicate state herself here, not for that reason, but for her self-confidence kind of took a hit.
Well, yeah.
There's some doubt. There's some nerves.
Kody was never attracted to her. So she's really questioning her own self-confidence. And then also it does really, the schedule that they had where they were going back and forth to Flagstaff, I don't think she had much time to be thinking about much else other than logistics.
Right, yeah. But she was meeting with a matchmaker, and she was kind of going on some dates. I didn't like the part where she had asked Truly, hey, is it okay if I start dating? And Truly was like, I kind of prefer things the way they are. And then Christine was disappointed by that answer. And it's like, well, maybe don't ask your 12-year-old for permission to date. Maybe just say, hey, if I meet somebody who I like, how long should it be before you meet them? Like, well, how long before I introduce people, or like something like that?
Maybe you can frame it as, I'm going to start dating. Let's talk about how I can do that in a way that makes you feel comfortable. Maybe that's that I'm going to go out on dates. Aspen or McKelty are going to hang out with you on the days that I go out on dates. You're not going to meet them, this person, for a period of time.
I think Truly knew.
Oh, she knew. She was like, she's going to go out on a date with one guy. Yeah. And that's going to be my new dad.
We're going to get stuck with somebody else.
I just got used to this whole situation and she's going to blow it up again.
But like, it didn't sound like the matchmaker dates were going well, because we did see that for a second on the show, because we were like, matchmaker?
I guess not worth the premium she was paying.
I mean, between that, but then if anything, she kind of learned a little bit of how to date, because then the matchmaker was like, maybe don't info dump on these people when you first sit down with them on your first date. Because Christine was just like, here it is, laying it all out there for everybody, getting them all up to speed on her entire life story. And it was like, maybe we could like slowly
ease them into it a little bit, you know?
Slowly.
Maybe we just say you're divorced, and then maybe on another date you explain a little bit more about like what your first marriage was like. We don't trauma dump on first dates, okay?
Yeah, like, so I think that was something that she did learn that was valuable as far as like how to interact on a date.
Thank God this wasn't Patty for Millionaire Matchmaker, because she would have walked out with worse self-esteem.
Pretty much, yeah. But there was a fateful day when Christine was listening to her favorite podcast. She didn't name it, but I mean, we can only...
Surviving Sister Wives.
I mean, how many favorite podcasts are there out there, you know? Probably not a ton.
So she hears an ad for a dating site and she goes and signs up for it. Did she use the code? Did you use the podcast special ad read code? Maybe she did. Maybe that's how she got a discount.
Maybe.
She was like, I can do it for 50% off the first month. I'll give it a try. A lot cheaper than the matchmaker.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then especially when you have McKelty helping you come up with your dating profile and assessing your photos to be sexier and sassier. What could go wrong?
I would rather use an AI bot. I would use ChatGPT before I would turn to McKelty to give me advice on dating.
No. Because, I mean, like, do you trust McKelty for her dating experience? She didn't date too many people.
No, the pool's shallow over there as well.
She dated weird hormone in the mouth John. And then pretty much, yeah, we saw Tony. That was it. Maybe there was some in between. I don't know.
Well, whatever she did, it must have been successful because Christine ends up sending a message to David Woolley, who has not used this site for 3 years. So he has to pay $60 to reactivate his subscription just to be able to read her message.
Brutal.
Did this site not have like a feature that tells you if this person has been active recently? His profile's just been floating around there for 3 years.
Either that or Christine was casting a pretty wide net.
She won't admit to that now.
No. Well, it sounded like slim pickings at first because she was going through most dating profile woes of fisherman profiles or the people in the comments section who don't think the jokes are funny. The selfies in the car with the hat and the sunglasses on. They all look the same with the goatee. Honestly, if you put a hat and sunglasses on David, though, he's falling right into that camp. So we got to be careful here.
I mean, how many times have we been in the hardware store and I've said, I thought that's David Woolley? And we're not even geographically in the right area.
But that's the look.
It's just, there's a lot of David Woolleys walking around.
It's the Home Depot build. That's what it is.
He knew who she was. He watched Sister Wives. So
I would argue if David Woolley is considering himself a Sister Wives fan, he sounded like a very fair weather fan jumping on the bandwagon here because all of his favorite episode moments that he seemed to be reciting for Christine were from that season. So are you familiar with the lore,
I
sir?
think one of his kids were like, you need to have a crash course in what's been going on in Christine's life.
I'll be honest with you. The Christine on the Sister Wives show is not the Christine who showed up on that first date with David Woolley. He got leather pants Christine. And we did not see leather pants Christine on the show for a while.
Yeah, she hasn't come out yet in her full form.
No, but that was their first date, was leather pants. Second date was Little Mermaid.
Where she doesn't get kissed.
Doesn't get kissed, even though, man, that would have been a great story. And we know how Christine needs a good story. She needs a good story. That didn't pan out.
No, she's starting to kind of doubt, like, does this guy like me? Because he had an opportunity, the perfect opportunity to kiss me, and he didn't. So maybe he's just going to friend zone me because she has a really bad day, and he invites her over to his house.
And that's the third date, you guys, an invite over to the house.
He was ready to move things along.
Well.
Maybe he goes from, kissing to fucking on the third date.
There's not much
just
in
like
between.
her honeymoon, her first one.
A gentleman doesn't fucking tell, I suppose. But I think it said a lot about Christine's mental space when it comes to dating that she was telling David, hey, before I open up and become vulnerable to you.
Can you confirm you're attracted to me?
Are you going, is that going to make you not want to have sex with me because I have needs and emotions about things? That should be worth taking a look at for maybe some additional clarifying points, perhaps.
Yeah, also depressing that she doesn't realize that this is a form of intimacy in a relationship where you're having conversations with each other about how your day went and confiding in one another.
I would just like to take this moment to remind everyone, this is why we were so concerned when David Woolley first showed up. Because if you're looking at Christine on paper right now, she is the highest risk category for a rom-con.
She was very close to being conned in a romance
dangerous,
scheme.
Dangerous. If
anyone else had responded first,
a DM from the wrong intentioned person, she would have been primed and immediately wrapped up in that. It would have been Catfish 2.0, way worse. So, I mean, count our lucky stars that she did not end up going down that route, but that was the big concern here because she's primed and ready for that sort of scenario to take place here. It's terrifying. But what's the opposite of drywalling? Drywalling, because she's ready to go with David. Okay.
No dry humping going on here.
Ooh. I've been dry humping for about 40 years. Obviously, this relationship is on warp speed. It advances very quickly.
I can't live through talking about the engagement and the wedding again.
No.
We're not going to do that.
It was obviously some people thought it was too fast. People were reluctant, hesitant, tentative, all of those good things. But there is at least a genuine connection and a bond that David is building with Truly, with Ysabel, with Gwen, all of Christine's kids. And Christine is seeing what it's like to actually have a relationship with a partner, like a person who is invested in doing life with her the way that she was hoping that she would have a partner, talking things out, supporting each other, feeling secure, safe, and loved. Little things like that. Little things that are very important in a relationship. David has not been on a reality TV show, though, prior to this. So that's a big adjustment.
There was a lot of stuff mentioned at the end of the book that really made it sound like Christine's just ready to move on with her life. That maybe being on the show isn't something that's going to happen long term for her.
She was talking about how it's hard to move forward when you're constantly revisiting the past or looking back on things.
But I agree. I don't need to hear them on the show talk anymore about what it was like to be married to Kody. Maybe if it's a passing comment about something new that we haven't heard before, but otherwise, I don't need them every season to talk about how terrible it was to be married to this man. We're very clear about that. Let Robin take the mic and start telling us how horrible it is to be married to Kody in present day.
Robin's really bad with content, though. She's really,
I know she's horrific at telling a story.
Really bad at telling a story. Can't do it. Can't get into it.
But I'd be okay with watching Christine and Janelle and Mary live their lives now and not have to constantly rehash the past, especially if that's making them not want to participate in the show anymore.
I think Christine was amazed that the show has lasted as long as it has, was the initial response that I got from that. And then the immediate following of that was like, I don't know how much longer it's going to go. It seems like we've kind of run our course here for the most part, but we'll see.
Yeah, and since David isn't really into being on TV, maybe it's like, look, I'll do this for a couple of seasons, but I don't really want our live together to be filmed.
Right.
Truly, a lot of the other kids don't really want to be part of the show anymore.
Well, and Truly was saying how she didn't feel like it was ever really a choice for her because her birth is literally on camera. So it's not something that she's ever really had a say in being involved in. She was born into it, literally. So that's something that Christine was trying to be more mindful of for the more recent seasons of what Truly wants to be involved with on camera, having her be the one who determines that. And then we closed out with the last chapter that was all about Garrison.
I kind of feel like the book ended a little abruptly, and I think that it has to do with the time period in which this book was being written.
Yeah.
That it overlaps with Garrison having passed away, and I like that she dedicated a portion of the book to talking about him, and she told a couple of different stories about him throughout the earlier parts of the book as well. But what a really difficult way to have to end this book, especially talking about, like, Christy mentions how painful it was to write the rest of it as it was.
Yeah.
To think about how being embarrassed about the stories that you're telling about your past and really truly how bad your relationship was now that you're reflecting on it. And then having this horrible family tragedy be the thing that happens as you're finishing writing it.
Well, and obviously it was incredibly devastating when it happened too. And so it was a difficult thing to be going through. I did like where it had highlighted out kind of the connection point too between Christine and David. David's first wife had passed away from suicide as well. And so that was like a sharing point where he was able to be so supportive, not only for Christine, but also for her kids, even though she did call out too how it really hit David hard, even though they weren't that close with Garrison. Like,
he didn't have a long time to know Garrison.
David and Garrison weren't incredibly close necessarily because, yeah, they hadn't known each other very long. But still, Garrison was at their wedding. He was supportive of their relationship. And so, like, even just those brief interactions that David did have with Garrison, it was very impactful on him when you find out such a terrible tragedy takes place here.
Well, and David probably has PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
From having experienced that with his wife.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, Christine was able to call out that it was a positive thing, or like as positive as you could be about it, where David kind of was able to understand where everybody was at emotionally during this time and then kind of help them navigate through some of their emotions as well. But maybe that was part of the reason too of why Christine was able to feel a little bit more comfortable to share like her oxy stories. And she even mentioned some of the alcohol stuff too, because she was even saying that like filming for the Garrison stuff was very difficult too. And she found herself coming home at the end of the day after filming and needing alcohol to kind of unwind and relax, and noticing that as like drinking to numb a little bit, which is like something to be aware of, something to take note of.
Yeah, I don't think I've really thought about it until you just said that piecing together substance abuse being a big part of Garrison's story, but also David's first wife's story, and that Christine was brave enough to include those struggles in this book, to have that be a dialogue of something that, people should be talking about, of things that they struggle with throughout their lifetime. And that's something that she also personally has experienced to a certain extent. And that Garrison passing away has caused her to look at some of those things differently, like her relationship with alcohol.
Yeah. Well, and it was calling out to like Garrison, obviously, they knew that he had problems with alcohol. Like they were assuming that it was going to be like a car crash or something. Like they knew that something was going to happen to Garrison eventually,
which is so sad.
Was like kind of the general sentiment there, which is terrifying too, to like know that somebody in your family has a problem and you're trying to deal with it as much as they're trying to deal with it in the best ways that you can. And then to have this be the end result here, it's just so heartbreaking to see in that way. And then that was what she was saying too about going to Al-Anon then, is to like recognize this moving forward. And I think that was where she kind of saw those patterns in herself then, of like, I don't want any of our other kids to go through this same thing, or like to catch this. I want to catch this earlier on if we're seeing stuff like this develop, because I think that's what hurts about it too, is where it's just, it feels like so unnecessary. It feels like such a waste, like to lose Garrison in that way. Like it's just devastating. It hurt my heart though when he was talking about not wanting to get his work framed, when Christine wanted to hang up pictures of his photos and stuff, where he was saying, oh, it's not good enough to frame. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked at that too. It was like,
yes,
he
is.
Really didn't even know how talented he was. That his photography is beautiful.
It's incredible work. The night photography stuff is just absolutely amazing. So I think that was just another glimpse of just, that was his mentality. That was his view, even just on things that he enjoyed too. It was just part of that struggle that was there.
I feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You don't measure up.
The epilogue kind of rounds us out here. I think it's just get divorced. Don't put it off. Did you feel like you wanted to get a divorce after this?
I hope you didn't.
No.
I don't think that our relationship is anything like Christine and Kody's, luckily.
No, but I mean, like, some people reading this at the end of it, you might be considering, well, maybe it's time.
I think it's true. A lot of people are not in good relationships.
Yeah. Does that mean that there's hope for Mary? I wouldn't count on it.
No, she was like, oh, Mary's out there dating, and I hope that she finds her person. I think it's going to be very, very, very hard for Mary to find a person who's able to endure her for the long haul here.
I'm still telling you, masshole. That's what I'm seeing. Somebody from Boston.
I know. We've been predicting that for a while.
It has to be, right? Like that. I don't know what it is about that energy. It just feels like it's right there. Needs an East Coast brash person to keep her checked.
Yeah. Who kind of just ignores the nasty comments that she makes.
Yeah. Most of it just kind of rolls off. And then every once in a while they get into it, but it's good. It's a positive thing. We will not be ignoring the Claddagh controversy that was brought up as part of the epilogue.
Oh my gosh. The fact that this was in the epilogue. I needed a whole chapter dedicated to this.
Yeah,
so
what is going on?
Kody bought the girls in the family Claddagh rings when they turned 13. Or at least he was supposed to do this.
As sort of a bat mitzvah replacement.
Sure.
Sorry we couldn't do a bat mitzvah.
They love to appropriate Jewish culture, so
Here's a Claddagh ring. Even though Christine said that she's given up on the Jewish appropriation of a lot of the holidays and stuff because she doesn't really share the belief anymore. So there you go.
She traded it out for the fun holidays, let's be real. She was like, we're bringing Easter back.
Easter and Halloween?
We want the candy.
Yeah.
Candy, bunnies,
tough.
painting eggs.
It's tough to compete.
It is.
But the Claddagh. So if we're left with Savannah and Truly, who do not have Claddagh, and so Christine was bringing it up, hey, Claddagh should be coming up soon. These are the last 2 daughters in the family.
Well, no, then we got Ari.
Oh, well, eventually. I'm sure Ari already has her Claddagh.
Probably.
Somehow. But
encrusted in diamonds.
yeah, that's why he doesn't really care for this. I think the exact words that he used was, it's not on my radar for Truly and Savannah to get their Claddagh. I'm sorry.
Sir, put it on your radar. I just put it on your radar. And I don't care if I have to go to the fucking store and march my ass in there and purchase it and send you a Venmo and put it in your hand to give to our child. But you are going to be giving her a Claddagh.
But that's what's happening. Yeah. You couldn't pick one up while you were picking out earrings with Aurora?
How about you just buy a couple of them and just have them in a cabinet somewhere so that when the time comes, you're ready. You know, like Robin with all of her junk journals.
Squirrel it away.
You get a junk journal and a Claddagh on your 13th birthday.
Save it for a day when you need it. It will come to you when you're prepared to receive it.
So they go to Ireland, which is cool because they actually get a Claddagh and Claddagh earrings from Ireland, straight from the source, since Kody wasn't going to purchase them. So just Janelle and Christine went and made sure that their kids had them.
Very cool. I'm good with that. Are you good with that?
I don't know. I guess it's like your dad's a deadbeat. So, I mean, we flew to Ireland. We got you a Claddagh from here.
Here's the lesson. Stop relying on Kody for things. I think that is the overall lesson of this part, of the woman section here that Christine was going through. Don't need no mans to provide value for your life or give you permission to experience and enjoy spending time together or things like that. Go do that.
Snaps to that.
Oh, okay, yeah, pretty good. We forgot to talk about the photos from the last segment. Do we have the photos over there in that book right there? That's the book. I like the fact that they printed them in better quality and in color.
Glossy color pages.
Because we shit on the Becoming Sister Wives book for not doing that. They did cheap out black and white, and it was not photo paper either. It was just part of the same pulpy paper that you get for the written word.
What do you want to talk about? Because there's lots of pictures of Christine from when she was little, and it's kind of freaky because different kids look like her in different photos.
Yes, she looks like a different mix of, it's like some photos you look at it and, oh my gosh, it's Truly. Or, oh my God, it's Aspen. Oh my God, it's McKelty. But then I think there was one where it was like, oh, that's Ysabel. That's Gwen. Like you see every single kid.
Which is weird because it's the same thing with Kody. When you go and look at old pictures of Kody, you see a lot of the boys' faces in Cody's face throughout different periods of his life. Like
Gabe, Garrison, and Hunter, I think those are the 3 that I usually see. And a little bit of Payton sometimes, too. I think her commentary and her call-outs in the captions of the photos are the star key points here.
Well, yeah. I mean, the main one is she has the photo that Robin used. The family portrait with Aspen left and McKelty that Robin used to create a drawing of Kody and her younger children.
So this is the photo of appropriation.
So she knew.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as she looked at it, she knew, oh, this is weird because this is the photo. This is definitely reminiscent of a photo of my family and Kody.
To be fair, I don't know if she knew at that time.
But now she does.
Now she's aware of it at time of publishing the book, because this made it seem like she's kind of in on some of the jokes of the fandom. Because even with like the family commitment celebration ceremony, when they're pouring the sand.
Yeah, it says, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? It's humor that kind of goes into the absurdity of the event itself as well, which we've pointed out in our recap of that episode in particular.
She's got a favorite photo with her and Kody. This one's like more recent, actually. It looks like it's airbrushed into oblivion. I'm not going to lie.
It was those photos that they used all throughout COVID, those family photos?
No, this is one we've never seen before. This is just a couple photo of her and Kody. It looks like it's from that photo shoot, but I don't know that we've seen that photo of just the 2 of them. And then, of course, her wedding to David.
Yeah, wedding photos.
Mob boss wedding photo with David ready to take over the world. I would have loved her to have a mob boss themed wedding.
They didn't get a kiss-themed wedding like David wanted, even though he was mostly joking about that. I think he would have eloped.
The Bezos party?
The Bezos party.
As Lisa Barlow would...
Well, not little kisses. It's Kiss the band. Kiss.
Oh, I didn't understand that.
Did you not understand that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Kiss the band. The band
Kody would
Kiss.
for sure have showed up then.
You think so? I think that...
If he could have gone in full makeup?
Oh, yeah, that would be a selling point for him. Robin would... It's too much yucky energy for Robin.
Too scary.
Scary. Yeah.
Well, what did you think about this book in its entirety? I think if you're a fan of I guess I'll go since you're speechless.
Well...
If you're a fan of this show, you've watched Sister Wives for years, I think that it's like a fun, casual read.
There were some behind-the-scenes stuff, some other glimpses or insight into Christine's mentality and thought process behind things, most of which we kind of assumed. So she did confirm a lot of things or like make that assessment a reality in some ways. There wasn't as much in it. It wasn't like an explosive sort of tell-all type of thing. It was just a lot of recounting scenes from the show, which we've already experienced a lot. So that would be like my good thing to note. Maybe
give notes
secondary.
Because, you know, she made it sound like someone has perhaps offered Janelle her own book deal. Because she kept saying that's Janelle's story to tell.
She got to work on.
There were a couple times that she floated it out there that maybe Janelle will tell her story about this one day.
Janelle might,
So these are notes to the editor for the future memoir.
Could be.
What is Janelle going to name it, though? Because now a sister wife is taken.
Well, we were right on what Christine would name hers. So I'll have to think about that a little bit more about what Janelle would name hers. Because we accidentally landed at this one. Because we were trying to talk about becoming sister wives.
How about ex-sister wife?
Oh.
A life of autonomy, financial freedom. No, this is financial freedom in here too.
Finding freedom.
Oh, well, Janelle's is financial freedom.
Yeah. Well, if Christine's were all F's, then what would Janelle's be all A's then, you said? Autonomy, attitude, and audacity? Ex-sister wife. I think that's probably what the name of the book would be, though.
I'm just waiting for Janelle to go out into the woods one day and go on like her own finding herself journey, and then she'll write a memoir about it. The thoughts she had while she was out in nature.
She's going to have to do a lot of peyote to get there, though. Well, let us know what you thought about the book. Your likes, your dislikes, your notes, your takeaways.
Anything you feel like we didn't talk about that you expected us to touch on, because maybe we'll weave it into our season 20 recaps.
Also, don't forget we have our Discord watch party on Monday night. So we'll have to pick an episode for that too. If you have a good episode to drop in the description, I guess we could do the knife and the kidneys episode. We could do anything with Ysabel's scoliosis surgery. It has to be a more recent episode. They keep
I'm voting
pulling
for something with the scoliosis. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be.
Those were episodes that I feel like we watched them a while ago, maybe haven't gone back to them. But next week, we will be back with the premiere episode of season 20 of Sister Wives.
I'm not ready, but at the same time, I'm very ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for Special Forces. This is going to be a fall to remember. Thanks for listening. See you next time.